Hello, I am Jody Reinhardt and I do visitation ministry here at Aldersgate Church. And I am with Denise Griffith, and she is the teaching instructor, nursing instructor at Red Lake College. And so we're here to have a conversation about coronavirus.
Coronavirus, which has changed all of our lives, hasn't it?
Yes, it is.
So it's changed your ministry a great deal. Tell me how it changed your ministry.
Well, can't go visit anyone and are not allowed in the hospitals, even though we are ministers, and we are not allowed to go into facilities, so all of my ministry has to be done by text, phone.
So that's different, and it's hard to feel that personal contact and touch that you're used to doing.
Yes.
I know when you visited Bruce in the hospital, you always laid hands on and prayed, and it's kind of that was meaningful. So it really pushes you to have a deeper prayer sense, I guess, is what that would be.
Yeah.
So you have questions about coronavirus?
Well, I guess we need all of the people out there in Facebook land to know exactly what is coronavirus, or what do we know about it?
Well, coronaviruses, there are a group of coronaviruses, and this coronavirus 19, which they call it that because it started in China in December 2019. So there are many different coronaviruses. A lot of them are in animals, cattle, bats, camels, all kinds of different animals, and they, in different cases, then humans end up contacting these viruses. And then, but this coronavirus 19, which has led to coronavirus 19 disease, is now gone from animals to human transmission. So it's being transmitted from human to human. And it is very aggressive virus that is passed very easily. And because it's passed very easily, that's how it's spreading so quickly from, China, Korea. You've heard of all these places, Italy, France, and, of course, New York. Any ports of entry where there's a lot of people coming in are the places, the hotspots for these virus outbreaks. So it's a virus like flu, influenza A or B, but it's different. It's a different grouping, a different family of viruses.
Okay, but just as serious, or more serious than the flu, or
I think
you can't compare.
I think we can't compare. It's really interesting because there was a Spanish flu outbreak in 1918, 1919, almost 100 years ago. Isn't this interesting?
Yes.
And we're dealing. And so that was a different group. That was N1 or H1N1 virus family. So it's a little bit different pathogen. But we've had this before, and it is just because it's so contagious. And then what happens? When it gets into the lungs, it just gets to be. It overtakes the lungs and the body's ability to fight it off. So it is. Can you compare them? The flu is just has a lot of deaths every year, and it's pretty serious. The nice thing about our influenza, we have vaccines that we can get annually and help to minimize the exposure and the passing of the flu. But also, if you do get the flu, you tend to not get as sick if you've had the vaccine. Well, we don't have a vaccine for the coronavirus, so that's kind of, this is all new. This virus is a new virus for us.
Okay. And so what are some of the symptoms that we might be looking for?
The ones that people are really focusing on are the temperature, like 100, and 106 or greater, 100.4, 100.6 or greater, a cough, a persistent cough, and a lot of people are complaining of things like headache, fatigue, body aches, kind of variety of symptoms. But the one thing that gets it into the very, very serious is when it causes shortness of breath. it decreases the lungs' ability to move oxygen. And when that happens, that's when people get really, really sick and have to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Most of the coronavirus that people are getting, we're able to deal with at home. And it's lasting pretty long. It lasts, 2 to 3 weeks for some people. So it can last longer. So it's pretty potent.
Okay. So if you suspect you have it, what should we do?
Most of us will be able to take care of ourselves and stay home.
Okay.
And that's what we should do. If we think we have it, we really don't want to go to the hospital. We really don't want to go to the doctor's office, because then if we have it, we're going to get everybody else infected. So we really want to stay home and contact our healthcare provider by phone and try to stay home and try to take care of it at home. If it gets to the point where you're short of breath and those kinds of things, that's when you need to go in to the hospital or your doctor's office. Now, there's a whole group of people who are high risk. The people who are high risk are people who have what we call comorbidities, or hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, diabetes. Those people are at higher risk and don't have the same ability to fight off the illness as people who don't have those illnesses. So those are the people who are at risk, and we have to be more cautious with them.
And if we get it, is there something that we can do to make it not as severe? Maybe?
Not really. If you get it, they talk about just things like what we would do with the flu.
Okay.
Chicken noodle soup, rest,
Fluid.
bed rest, fluids, Gatorade, Tylenol for the aches and pains and the fever.
Okay.
That's pretty much, if we can stay home and take care of it that way, that's how we should.
I think a lot of us have been staying at home, and so what can we do to protect ourselves?
At home,
Yes. And well, at home and
wherever, the number one thing is hand washing. I think that we're all, we've all been taught to wash our hands. Mom and Dad, taught us to wash our hands, but it's a different type of washing. It is, at least 20 seconds. It's all surfaces of your hands, not just your palms like we're used to doing.
Yes.
So it is a good thorough hand washing. Whenever you come in contact with, you go somewhere, you come home, you wash your hands. You go to the bathroom, you wash your hands. Before you eat, you wash your hands. You get the mail, you open the mail. After you're done opening the mail, you wash your hands. So much more aggressive hand washing. If you do cough or sneeze, you always want to use cough and sneeze into your elbow and not into your hands and not into the air. The coronavirus is transmitted by what we call droplets. So the virus is in the droplets of when we cough and sneeze, and they're out into the air. That's why they're saying, distancing, the 6 feet kind of thing to keep people safe. Those droplets then drop to the ground or the surfaces, and then the problem with that is that if it drops to the surface and I touch it, then I've got it back on my hand. If I touch my face, my nose, my mouth, my eyes, I could give myself, pick up the virus from contacting on surfaces. So lots of hand washing, coughing and sneezing into our arms. If you're sick, you just need to stay home. That's
right.
important. The problem with the coronavirus, there are people who get it and have the virus, and it's very mild symptoms, or they don't really realize that they have it, and there's a period before they get symptomatic that they're contagious. That's the problem. That's where we get into people, who maybe don't know they've been infected and they've not gotten symptoms yet, and they're out in public, and that's how we're spreading it. So that's why people have started wearing the mask. The CDC is recommending, if you're getting into the community, the grocery store is the big thing. For example, if you're in the grocery store and you might, how you go down the aisle and you try to stay apart from everybody, but it doesn't always work, that 6 feet kind of thing. So they're recommending that we wear masks there, just to, again, as people start getting back out into the community, and then they started easing up. I don't think that state of Illinois will start easing up until, I'll be surprised if it's the end of May or the middle of May. I think they're gonna continue this for a while. So the self-isolation and the social isolation and staying home is really the best thing right now.
Yes, yes it is. And so when we go out in public, we wear our masks and perhaps, tell us about the masks.
Okay,
and gloves,
so
if we're to use them, if it makes us feel better.
a lot of people are doing the homemade mask, and that's what this is. And this is just a couple layers of material. Once you put this mask on and you go out into public, the outside of the mask becomes contaminated and the inside from your breathing onto it. So when we put it on, we want to make sure it fits well. So we want to make sure our nose is covered and our chin and our mouth, okay? And we want to make sure that it fits as snug as we can. If it's gaping here, then air can get in and out, and the droplets can. Or if it doesn't fit well and it's loose and it's falling down and I'm constantly touching it and whatever, then my hands are going to get contaminated. And my hands are touching things and I'm going to contaminate my mask. So the idea is that you get it to fit well. You want it to fit well. You want it to cover your nose and your mouth. You don't want to drop it or open it up to talk to people. That doesn't help. You want to leave it on the whole entire time, and you want to keep your hands off of it. Okay. You want to not touch it, because once you start touching it, that defeats the purpose. And then once you get home and you're getting ready to take it off, again, you're always washing your hands. Wash your hands before you put it on. Wash your hands as you take it, before you take it off. And you want to take it off by the ear, the ties or the ears, because as I said, this part is all contaminated. So you're just going to take it off and throw it in the washing machine. These can be reused after washing. You don't want to, once they become saturated or moist from your breath, and really if you just feel this, I had this on a short period of time, it's kind of damp. So it gets saturated pretty quick. Once it's saturated, it is not effective. Okay. So we have to laundry them in the washing machine, just regular with whatever will kill it. The regular detergent will, take care of it, and kind of maybe a couple so that you can trade them in and out as they get wet. If you're going to wear them a long time. Yes. But hand washing.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. And then, what about getting the mail? I've heard people leave their mail in for 24 hours and they go rotate their and getting their mail every other day.
And I think they don't know. I know that they feel that the droplets in the virus can survive on, like for example, plastic or stainless steel for 24 or 48 hours. Okay. That's why they recommend the cleaning with, the bleach type stuff, products. With paper, paper and cardboard, they're talking about 24 hours. So some people will bring their mail in and let it sit for 24 hours, kind of thing. I open up my mail when I get it and then pitch it and wash my hands and try not to touch my face.
All right. And then what about, we go out to the store and we don't know who's touched the items that we're putting in our cart. We take it home. So how do we clean those items?
Again, there's no research that says people have been getting sick and we have been transmitting the virus by products. It's human to human. But with that being said, a lot of people are wiping off their packaged goods with a bleach product type thing, or they're taking them out of the original packaging and putting them into packaging, some sort of container in the house. Some people are wiping them off and letting them sit for 24 hours before then they do something with them or put them away. Okay. What I've seen on the CDC is that you bring your groceries home, you unpack them, and you put them away. They're also recommending then you clean that countertop off with your bleach products. kind of thing, so.
All right, very good. Is there anything else that we haven't addressed?
There's so much out there. The important thing is to get the correct information. And the correct information is going to come from the CDC webpage that you can get on the internet, or the Illinois Department of Public Health, IDPH. You just put in IDPH and you can get a whole lot of stuff. That's the Illinois Department of Public Health. And they have all kinds of information on how to protect yourself, all the latest facts. The other one is the World Health Organization, the WHO. Those are the three main organizations that you will get the most accurate, correct information, not from Facebook, not from anywhere else. So if you have a question or something's confusing, that's where you need to go to get that answer. Those are the best sources.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
and meeting with me and us doing this. And just like with the Spanish flu that happened in 1918, there's nothing new under the sun. We just want you all to stay safe and be well. And that's it.